More than 250,000 students in the Bay Area are taking the FCATs this week, and this year there's even more riding on how they do on these exams. Our Don Germaze is live in West Tampa with more. And Don, this is a nerve-wracking time of year for the students and teachers.
Indeed, you're right, Brendan. 1.8 million Florida students taking the FCAT statewide. But now it's high stakes for the teachers also, because they're going to be graded on how well their students do on the FCAT.
Ted already sorted them.
No matter how well a teacher teaches her students, no matter how many lives she touches, no matter how many glowing references she gets from parents, if her students don't do well on the FCAT, her career is in trouble. Her advancement will be based largely on a test that has failed itself repeatedly. Last year, the school scores were delayed 6 months because of problems. The year before, large school districts claimed the tests were skewed. So you can understand why teachers don't want their future to ride on the FCAT.
There will be teachers who will not be rehired. There will be teachers who won't get raises. There will be teachers who will lose pay because of faulty reads on an FCAT test.
Last month, Governor Rick Scott signed a bill into law that directly ties school teacher pay to evaluations based largely on the FCAT. With serious issues over the past 5 years, though, Pinellas School Board member Carol Cook doesn't really trust the test.
This is a one-time shot, 1 day, one test, and that we've already found out that there are a lot of inaccuracies with the testing, with the grading and things like that.
The Florida Department of Education said today it has full faith and confidence in the FCAT. In fact, a spokesman for the department called me less than an hour ago to assure me that they're going to hold the test takers' feet to the fire to make sure there are no problems this year. He said, we will make sure the FCAT is as accurate as is possible. We will see. Live in West Tampa, Don Germaze, ABC Action.
Dramatic decrease in FCAT scores across the state. Florida's Board of Education is changing requirements tonight and enacting an emergency rule. The rule comes after yesterday's scores showed that 4th, 8th, and 10th grade students were well below the passing grades for the FCAT exam. Local 6's Nick Vincennes live with more on today's decision. Nick.
Well, Lauren, we talked with school administrators about this change, and they said that they're going ahead and making it because the test results didn't come back the way that they were expecting them to be. The big problem that they're having, though, is they don't know why the test results were the way they were. They don't know if it's the problem of teachers teaching, too high standards, or kids not learning. They've lowered the grades, but school officials insist they haven't lowered the grades, just adjusted them. 3 is now a passing score on Florida's writing FCAT.
What we're doing is just adjusting for the fact that this is year 1.
School officials made the change at an emergency meeting this morning. This year, school officials changed grading standards, and 4 was considered an acceptable number on Florida's FCAT. But when test results came in, nearly 75%, 3 out of every 4 fourth graders scored below a 4. By going back to 3, passing numbers are now the same as last year.
They put it into a higher standard for them, and I don't think that the kids are learned that stuff.
I don't think it's fair for the kids that excel, that do well, they have the standards lowered.
Why such a big drop with the new standards? School officials say it's because of higher expectations for proper punctuation, spelling, and grammar. But during a conference call with reporters, school officials admitted to Local 6 teachers never really understood the new standards or specifically taught kids the subjects, testing for grammar, but not setting aside time to teach it.
There's no course that's set aside, at least statewide, that's solely teaching grammar. However, in English, grammar is a part of that process.
Now, we talked to parents out here at Lee Middle School, and one of the things they really questioned about was, is this going to affect our overall school grades? Could our A school go down to a B school, go down to a C school? We asked administrators that question. They said, since the test has been adjusted, it won't affect overall school grades going into next year. Lauren?
So serious backpedaling today, Nick. So what are they going to do next year?
They don't know. I mean, that's the simplest way to answer this. A lot of the questions we answered, they would kind of give us an answer, but it wasn't really an answer like we talked about. They lowered the grades, but they said they didn't lower the grades. They simply said they're going to evaluate the process. Are they going to change the standards? They don't know. Are they going to change the tests? They don't know. It's really going to be throughout an internal investigation, and now they're also going to bring in an external investigation to decide this. Lauren?
I think they're all still in shock. All right. Thanks so much, Nick.
Educators in the state are taking a new stand against the FCATs. They say the exams are disrupting schools, and they want the state to do something about it. Our Chris Trinkman reports from Tampa, where things came to a boil today.
School board officials from the Bay Area and all across Florida drafted this resolution calling on the Education Department to review problems with the FCAT. The only problem, Florida's top educator says, there is no problem. Is the FCAT broken?
No, the FCAT is not broken.
Not only is it not broken, but Florida's education commissioner told me local school districts better get used to it. He told leaders from all 67 of Florida's school boards to stop calling the FCAT punishment for students and teachers.
I think the real punitive piece is lying to students about where they are and about what it's going to take.
But after 2/3 of Florida's fourth graders failed the writing FCAT earlier this year, school districts are demanding change. In 1998, the state required just 2 FCATs. Now there are 12.
It's been too much and too many, and we know we need reform in that area.
In a resolution, the Florida School Board Association wants the state to investigate the FCAT for mismanagement, eliminate FCAT scores as the main way to evaluate teachers, schools, and districts, and properly fund schools so students are better prepared.
That is our major concern because we believe in accountability, and the public has to also believe in it.
Pinellas School Board member Carol Cook says the problem is so many classes are geared to teaching the FCAT and not real life.
Let's make the test tie in with what the skills are and what the knowledge is that students are going to need in the future.
The education commissioner says that according to his information, students are learning because of the FCAT, and the recent low scores were just a temporary hiccup. In Tampa, Chris Trinkman, ABC Action News.